Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to SeahawkTalk here on the Salve Athletics Network. I am Andrew Pizzelli, coming to you live on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope through Twitter. Thank you for finding us here. We are live every single day, 3 to 4 p.m., and make sure to like, follow, and subscribe on all those platforms to never miss a show. We've got a great one for you lined up here today. We will be joined by Jody Meridian, Adam Zakara, Pat Cooney, and Eric Sorella. Hopefully everybody can keep power. We'll talk about that in just a minute. We're going to get to our producers as well, but first, like always, we want to remind you to keep your distance. That is Ed Habershaw with his rendition of Keep Your Distance by The Shake, a Rhode Island-based band with a worldwide message. Social distancing, hand washing, mask wearing. We're going to continue to remind every one of our listeners and everyone in the South Virginia community and Rhode Island community to continue to do those simple and easy things. Want to bring in the producers now, Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco. Fellas, welcome back to the show, and how was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. This, small gathering, tried to, be responsible about it. And, we had a good time. Just me, Dad, Nana, and my aunt.
Yeah, I just had, my parents and my little sister. And so we just, regular, weird, very extra dinner is really what it was.
Yeah. Mike, we talked before about, you were saying your Nana was cooking and how there'd be no shortage of leftovers. Was that assessment accurate?
Yeah, for about the last 3 or 4 days, I've been eating nothing but Thanksgiving food. So I'm starting to get a little tired of it now. But I think, I got my fill of it. So I think it was definitely worth it. But yeah, because there's no way to cook. You can't proportion that. You have to cook a large amount. There's no other way to do it for Thanksgiving.
I polished off the rest of the stuffing, and I will say this. So I've never been a big sweet potato guy. I'll have sweet potato French fries. I'll never just eat a sweet potato. Never sat well with me. However, I had sweet potato casserole that my girlfriend made, and oh my God, I'm a changed man. I could eat this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I guess you just strap pecans and brown sugar on something, and sign me up.
No, that's cheating. Yeah, that's like a different food.
It is delicious, though. I mean, normally I was like, sweet potatoes, I don't really. No, go ahead, try it. I'm like, oh my God, this is like candy. This is amazing.
Sweet potatoes, they're not sweet, and they're not potatoes. Not a fan.
They're not potatoes?
They're imposters.
Wow.
What are they?
They're yams.
I think they're very much potatoes.
Isn't sweet potato just a yam? They're the same word? Yeah. Probably, that's what my mom said. It's a yam.
Oh, well, peanut gallery here chiming in.
From a big sweet potato fan here. Wait, what is she?
They're sweet yams. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, needless to say, whatever it was, sweet yams. I'm a fan now. I'm officially a fan, and I will eat the. I'm that is now going. That might crack my top 5 of Thanksgiving dishes now. Safe to say. We'll have to get Craig O'Rourke II on here to talk about the differences between a sweet potato and a sweet yam, I guess. I know he'll have the scientific breakdown of where it lands in the plant family. I wanted to start, we may have some issues here today, fellas. One with some of our guests and all of us. There is quite the storm brewing outside. I may lose power at any moment. And so I guess what I'll go ahead and do is I'll share. We talk about everybody going out, not gathering in large groups and avoiding gatherings and social distancing, staying home. Well, also stay inside today because this is what we're looking at is in the South County area, 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, high wind not an advisory warning. And I just know personal experience, it's bad news, but Thanksgiving Day went out and tried to go kayaking in Narrow River over here. Now, Thanksgiving Day was a miserable day like it is today. Unfortunately, they capsized, and one of the people unfortunately, tragically drown. You don't mess with weather. Even just rain and wind, this is going to be taking down trees. So no need to be outside today. If you have any more leftovers, if you're thinking, what am I going to do with that extra pie? Stay home, polish off the pie today. Today's the day to stay home and polish off the pie. So it's going to be nasty outside pretty much for the rest of the day and all night. So, yeah, stay home and stay inside, folks.
I like that there's the orange and then the yellow and then the red, and there is no yellow on the screen. They just felt like putting that just cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an appropriate day to it's definitely appropriate to usher in this pause, or like 2-week pause here.
Yeah.
Perfect day to stay inside.
Maybe the governor's got in contact with Bill Belichick and they got the same weather machine that he had against. Say, how people inside and stay home? Oh, we'll just wrap the rain in the. Do it.
Yeah, it must be a New England thing. They got to have some line of important people, important New England figures.
So anyway, just wanted to bring that up. It's nasty outside. Everybody, stay home. Tune in to Seahawk Talk.
Yeah.
So
I'm just on the edge of that orange.
What else do you guys have here at the top of the show?
I'll lead in with my thing here really quick. So if anyone here is acting or interested in acting or has no experience at all, it really doesn't matter for this because The Gilded Age is the new HBO series. And they're going to be needing some extra people for their shooting. So this is a cast call here. So if you follow the link shown here at the bottom, you can follow that and you can register. They are looking and it says, particularly for women, are also men with long hair and facial hair. So like we said, Pez, you pretty much fit that whole mold right there. So that's perfect. You can go on, register. If anyone else out there is a woman or a man with long hair, you'd probably get this role. So honestly,
I fit perfectly in an age of unkeptness.
This might be some like our one shot to get in a film. So I feel like anyone listening, take this opportunity to go to this link, sign up, register, and you could be in a new show. It's not that hard. I've seen some of my friends were in The Bachelorette when it came to Newport. Last year they got in some background shots, so it's achievable.
Yeah,
I was
Joey,
behind the scenes at one of them.
Joey, how did you describe qualifications to be an extra show?
You can breathe and you can stand. Yeah, it's like a lot of times, especially for something like this, if they're gonna put you in costumes, it might be a little bit more. But like normal extras, it's literally like if they just need a bunch of people, there's like, yeah, you over there. Hey, crowd of people. It's a lot of times from what my friends have told me, like especially in New York, it's like, hey, you crowd of people, you want to be in a TV show? And they're like, sure. How long is it gonna take? And I'm like, 15 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And they're like, here's $10.
As long as you can say peas and carrots, right?
That reminds me, there's a video called Save That Money where this rapper will go around and he pretty much asks people he's like, the premise of this video is to save money. So can I film in your house? Yeah. And they don't even know who he is.
Can I film in your expensive mansion for free?
Yeah.
And they're like, why? It's like, I want to make a music video. And they're like, no.
Eventually they do find one though, and it's pretty funny. An old lady lets them into their house, and yeah, it's a nice house. So yeah, if you need if you want to be in this film, follow the link there at the bottom and register now.
Cool. Yeah, it says filming will start sometime in Newport, early 2021.
Yeah.
So
in March, I'd imagine, when it stops snowing as much.
Waiting for the warm.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. You said as much.
As much,
Good.
yeah. Like they definitely want a little bit of snow on the ground, but they don't want like blizzard.
Right.
I imagine this show takes place like in the fall.
Joey, do you have anything here?
Yeah, I'm gonna. We talked about it a little in our little pre-show thing. I'm gonna complain about the lunar eclipse thing. So okay, I got a notification last night that said last lunar eclipse of the year happening on Monday. So like any normal person, if you're getting this Sunday at like 6, you assume, okay, it's Monday night. They'd specify if it wasn't. Nope, it was this morning. So that was what I was planning on talking about on the show. I'm like, this is going to be a cool thing. We always bring up all this weird space stuff, and we missed it. But I do have a picture, and this is like the only good picture, and I don't get the joke. Maybe we should have Matt Hurd on because it's like an astrology joke. But something Gemini moon. I don't know what that means. But this is a pretty good picture of it. I guess it was kind of red, or this is unrelated, and they just posted this today.
I think it's just because everybody talks about the full moon making everybody crazy. You know,
yeah.
like, oh, everything's crazy right now. It must be a full moon.
It was also a beaver moon, full beaver moon. We looked up why that was. I forget. It's just what they called it, because this is when beavers finished their dams or something. They just decided to give it a name just cause, like a wolf moon.
Yeah, Native Americans called the final full moon of the year a beaver moon. Or last full moon in November, a beaver moon for whatever reason.
Just cause. Why not?
I'm trying to find. Yep, here we go. I thought at first when you said beaver moon, I was thinking of Beavertail Lighthouse because I saw this picture last night that someone took in one of the Narragansett communities, and that's the full moon rising right behind Beavertail. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. And I saw the moon yesterday. Saw it in when it rose. Saw it in the middle of the night. I actually woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I guess I could have seen this eclipse if we had known that it was happening. So, another time. There will be more eclipses. That I know for sure.
Yeah, just not this year.
Just not this year.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, great stuff. I'll let you guys get to work producing the show, and we will chat with you again at the end of the program.
Alrighty, sounds good.
That is Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco, the producers here on Seahawk Talk. We're going to go to our first guest now, the athletic director here at Salve Regina, Jody Meridian. Jody, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. How you doing? It's so nice to see you, and I hope that the power doesn't go out while we're chatting.
I was going to say, I mean, looks like somebody's power washing my window right now, but that is just Mother Nature at work trying to clean the outside of my building, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll start first. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, no, I was going to thank you for all the chat again, and I'm going to do some research on sweet potatoes and yams. Yeah. Because you know they yam what they yam.
Good one.
Sorry.
Now I'm gonna be thinking of potato puns. The rest.
Yeah.
I'll try and mash those into the broadcast as best I can.
Oh my gosh, good one.
So I guess since we're already talking about food, might as well ask first. How was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving is like the best holiday because you do get to just sit around. You don't have to worry about gifts, but you get to reflect and be thankful and be full. And so I really thought it was a wonderful day. And I think we need more of them. And giving thanks really is important. Like sometimes we just forget, and there's so much going on, and there's so many little wonderful things that we don't always thank people for. And I need to make sure we all do that.
Should we just declare that every Thursday from now until we get a vaccine is Thanksgiving? And we just
if we get sweet potato casseroles.
This stuff, I mean, I got more of it right here. I mean, yeah, it's just unbelievably good. Unbelievably good.
It is the pecans and brown sugar.
Like I said, I think if you throw pecans and brown sugar on anything, it's gonna make it. I could probably eat spinach with brown sugar and pecans on. I usually don't eat spinach just slopped in a plate, but you throw brown sugar on it, all of a sudden it's delicious.
And speaking of food, I will say one more thing, but one thing I was thankful for, and I want people to realize the type of staff and coaches we have at Salve. Our coaches all went around, and if student athletes were here and they were staying here, they took them Thanksgiving type food so that they could make sure that they had that experience. So I know Bill and Jane and Zach, I just know a lot of our coaches went around and gathered up Thanksgiving things. So I just appreciated that they care. It's not like our kids just are now remote. They're always connected.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
So now the sandwich of topics. We start with the fun. We'll get to the serious, and then we'll end with the kind of the fun again. What are the broad? We'll just go. What are the institutional updates? Where do we stand? What has happened in the last week for Salve?
So today we're remote, and all of our facilities for athletics are closed. So our weight rooms are closed, the gyms are closed, and so that's the update. I have a call Wednesday again, and a lot of conferences have been postponing the start of winter sports. So I'm hoping that will be my next update, because if we get a vaccine and if the weather turns, that we'll be able to do the spring we've always imagined. So with every single sport going at once.
Yeah. I'd say one positive thing we've talked about letting the higher divisions kind of be the litmus test. Basically a week now into college basketball. So that seems to be going pretty well. And if they can make it work, that's encouraging for the rest of us.
Yeah, Providence College is playing right now, and they had men's and women's games. All the Division One basketball model so far so good, and you can see why football has more glitches. They're position dependent, and also there's
They
just
have
more.
10,000 people.
Yeah, there's just more of them. So basketball, I think, could lead the way for us, and hockey at Division One, they're starting up, and so far they have delayed a few games, or postponed, I guess we say. And so let them lead the way, and we'll follow.
Yeah, I think PC went 4-0 in
Yeah.
all of its men's, women's sports over the weekend. So,
Yeah, that's terrific. So they can and start us off, and we'll quickly join in.
yeah. Another story from the college ranks, if anybody was paying attention on Saturday, Sarah Fuller, who is a women's soccer player at Vanderbilt, became the first female athlete to play in a football game for a Power 5 school. And she got the chance to kick off. Unfortunately, she didn't get the opportunity to show how strong her leg is on field goals because the Vanderbilt offense, to put it mildly, was not good. So they didn't have any opportunities for her to kick. But awesome story. I think inspirational for any other young women who, are interested in football. They definitely can play the sport. It's all about just football culture, letting women in, which has been happening more and more, even at the NFL level with coaches. But your thoughts on Sarah Fuller?
Well, I thought it was wonderful. It's such a positive story, and it really is true that if you're good enough, you should be allowed to play. I mean, that's what we always say. If you can play, you can play. And if people that know soccer, I was surprised she wasn't going to punt the ball. I mean, she's a goalie for the SEC championship women's team, and literally they can kick it as far as anyone. But I also wanted to point out when she only got the one kickoff, sadly, for Vanderbilt, not really a very good game, but she kicked it exactly as they told her to. I know some people think, why was it only a 30-yard kick? But it was supposed to be a 30-yard kick. And you can tell us why. It was their only
they wanted to squib it. It was perfectly, as you said, it was perfectly executed squib kick. And probably the reason they did that is because it'd be the only opportunity. You squib it like that to hope for the chance of maybe recovering it if the other team muffs it. It would be the only chance Vanderbilt had of possessing the ball that deep into Missouri territory because of how bad their offense was. But perfectly. People looked at that and said, "Oh, wow, I only kicked it." No, that was like other kickers struggle to do to execute that play.
Right. She actually had a perfect kick. So I'm not sure if they have more games, but I hope they do.
I think they do have one more game. I can check for you very quickly here. I know I think they let their coach go over the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not having a good year. They're 0-8. They do have one game left, December 5th at Georgia. So I don't know if they'll fare any better, but hopefully they get the chance. Maybe somebody picks up a fumble, and hopefully Fuller gets a chance to actually kick a field goal.
No, I thought that really was inspiring, and I know during this time we really are all looking for a good story, so it got a lot of traction. And there've been other women that have played, but it is evolving. And first, you see it in Major League Baseball, and you just keep seeing women growing in the sport, and obviously it makes me thrilled and proud. And we have in our athletic department, you really would never know the difference if you're just talking to somebody, if you're just watching their games. And so it's evolving sometimes from the bottom up in this case.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
story. Really glad we
Yeah.
could get to that. Jody, thanks so much for coming on, taking the time. Glad you had a happy
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, and we'll check in with you again next week.
All right. Take care.
All right, that's Jody Meridian, the athletic director here at Salve Regina. We're going to go to our next guest, the head coach of our men's and women's tennis teams, Adam Zakara. Adam, how are we doing? You've got every week you come with a great setup. Oh, Christmas tree.
I try to keep it different, you know?
Oh, Adam.
How are you?
Yeah. Yeah, looks great. I'm
Thank you.
good. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was really nice. I spent it with my mother and one of my sisters, so just the three of us. You know, we ate a lot of food, watched a lot of TV, so it was that part of it was very normal, but it was just a smaller gathering.
Now, is that a real tree? That doesn't look like a
Yeah.
fake tree.
It's a real tree. It's from Escobar's farm, and it could be one of the most symmetrical trees I've ever seen. I've been decorating it during Jody's whole talk with you.
I was gonna say, you already got the star. You already got the star or an angel up top
Yep,
there. So
the stars up there.
Working from the
see
top on down.
what direction I go in here for. I got a Christmas village too. Can you see that?
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you've been itching to get into the Christmas spirit. Thanksgiving is come and gone. It is now politically allowable to get into the Christmas spirit and full go now.
Well, we had the tree delivered yesterday, so we were kind of forced into it. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, Adam, because we've kind of touched on this before. But you you graduated in '95, I believe, correct?
Yes.
From Salve.
Correct.
And then you stayed in touch with the Seahawk tennis program, and now you're the coach, and you've kind of seen the transition, that different eras of tennis in the CCC, and I wanted to get your thoughts on really how the game has changed or evolved within the conference from when you played to now as a coach.
I have to say I'm really impressed. I think the level of play, and I have to be honest, might be a little bit more intense now than when it was, over 20 years ago when I graduated. We've got a couple of different schools that are in there now that weren't before. But that being said, we still, and I always remind you of this on Seahawk Talk, we still have the record in our conference. I think at all of Salve too, with 15 men's championships and 11 women's. So I think we can bring some more years up to that banner.
Yeah. Part of that will be, recruiting players. And how has that process gone for you this fall? Obviously, recruiting's been different for everybody. But how has the recruitment process gone for you and your program?
It's gone well. I will say that there's a little bit less quantity. The quality is definitely there, though. The nice part, I've got about 4 or 5 just recently emailed me within the last week that they're really excited they got accepted because their early application decisions are being made as we speak, and it's good to hear that. I haven't had any deposits made yet. That's the final step, of course.
Yep.
But it's certainly encouraging.
Yeah. Now, last week you were outside, and we got the beautiful scenic vista of Salve's campus. How much does it help? We talked about how much that helps the recruiting. How much does it help, too, to have the Tennis Hall of Fame right in the backyard? I mean, not many other schools can say, oh, your Sports Hall of Fame? Yeah, it's right there. It's right next door.
Yes, absolutely. And I always mention it when I'm on a tour or a Zoom call with parents and prospects. Of course, it's just such a beautiful facility, and the fact that we get to practice there in the winter, and we also host, as you know, the grass court women's double tournament there every September. So, if you're on the women's team and you hear that you're going to play on the grass courts every year and you're going to play inside in the winter, both men and women's team, it's an attractive feature for sure.
Yeah. How do you feel that you've maybe grown or changed as a coach in the last 2 years? I mean, you get to take charge of the program, and then now having to deal with the pandemic and stuff. We talk about the athletes adjusting and changing and growing. How much do you feel as a coach that you've changed and grown through this time?
I think significantly. I've been able to learn a lot just by watching others, and we've got such a great coaching staff here. Jody's put together such a good team. Everyone's been really helpful to me. If I have issues or things that I want questions answered, I will put a little group email out, and everyone gets right back. And what's nice is, even though I'm at the bottom of the poll there, you could say with 2 years experience, everyone here, all the coaches have got at least 10 or plus years, which is amazing.
Now, I want to share something with our audience that you shared with the world from this past weekend. This picture, Adam, is unbelievable.
Thank you.
A double rainbow in the middle of the highway. Now, I wanted to ask, did you drive through the rainbow? Like,
yeah. So it actually, that's through the windshield. I don't know if you can tell that. And that was over a year ago. I just posted it recently, but I actually took that picture over a year ago. And it felt like we were driving into the rainbow, but up ahead, you go around a little bend and you lose it again for a bit. But for that moment, it looked like it was right in the middle of the highway, which was a cool effect for sure.
any thought of pulling over and, going digging for gold wherever that thing ended?
Yeah, right. Well, it was raining a little bit up there.
Now, I'd call myself an amateur photographer. And I know we joked about how, you get to look west and get the view of Narragansett. I look east and get shots of Newport. I've tried to get this, but we've had a lot of great rainbows in the last year. The hardest thing is to get it to look, to actually capture it. Did you catch this on a phone? Did you happen to have a camera with you?
Yeah, that's on a Nikon.
Yeah, so you got very lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it came out well. I filtered it a little bit, cleaned it up a little bit, but yeah, I love that. And it actually blows up really nicely too. I've got some enlarged versions of it.
I was gonna say, I definitely can see this, on the wall somewhere. That would make a great. I know Matt Finlayson likes his Instagram pics for reprint. He's solicited me for a couple of ones that I've gotten. So we gotta.
Oh, good.
Maybe you should touch base with Matt. He might have a Salve Regina amateur photographer's wall that
I think that would be fun.
That he can get going. How did you get into the photography thing? When did that start for you?
I've always loved taking photos. I always had camera. I think for a lot of people now, there's a lot of photographers out there now, especially landscape photography, which is what I primarily do. I think really when your camera phones started becoming state-of-the-art cameras, people started taking a lot more photos, and because of platforms like Instagram and Facebook, like you mentioned, it was nice to get some feedback, and slowly but surely I started using a real camera, and I post a lot of photos off my phone as well as off the Nikon. So a lot of people will ask, hey, was that a phone or a camera? And it's really hard to tell the difference. There are some things that a real camera is going to zoom in a lot better. It takes better nighttime shots. There's certainly more you can do, but don't discount the phone camera.
Yeah, it's come a long way from my first cell phone, which took about like a 2-pixel image.
Right.
They've come a long way. Well, I know one thing. I want a picture. We'll look on Instagram later for a picture of the finished product here with this tree.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping the windows don't blow in on me.
Well, that's what I was gonna.
Single pane glass back here, and it's pretty bad.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let you go, Adam, so you can go batten down the hatches.
Thanks, Andrew. Great to see you.
Great to see you as well. Take
All right,
care now.
take
That's
care.
Adam Zakara, the head coach of our men's and women's tennis program. We're going to take a very short break and be back with the head coach of our men's lacrosse team, Pat Cooney. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, Seahawk fans. While the season is not what we hoped for, athletics is still going strong. Our coaches have adapted to new guidelines and are continuing to foster the growth of our student athletes on and off the field. With all the restrictions due to COVID-19, I can certainly understand what our student athletes are missing out on this year. Competition with teammates, home games with fans, away trips, and the camaraderie of taking a bus hours away, and team meals at Miley after practice. Our athletes are continuing to prepare for competition and are eager for the next full season. We all can't wait to have competition back on campus with our Seahawk fans like you cheering on our student athletes. Supporting our student athletes has a greater impact now more than ever. Please consider making a contribution to a sport of your choice below or Seahawk Athletics. Your support will help ensure that our Seahawk athletes come out of this pandemic stronger, faster, and better than ever.
Welcome back to Seahawk Talk. I'm your host, Andrew Pizzelli. We're going to go now to the head coach of our men's lacrosse team, Pat Cooney. Pat, how you doing?
Good, Andrew. How you doing?
Good. I guess I'll start first. We just saw the recruitment video, the fundraising video for Salve, the Seahawks Take Flight campaign. Talk shortly about how that campaign has gone so far for your team. I know it concludes tomorrow.
It's going great so far. We're almost at our goal of 75 donors. It looks like as of this afternoon, we had 71, and we're just over 10,000, and we've already eclipsed what we did last year. So we're in a great position, and it's worked out really well. This year it was really neat to see a lot of alumni step up as well. The percentage of alumni and parents this year were almost equal. I think they're off by 1 percentage point right now. So that's a great metric. You want to see the alumni give back. And a great big shout out to Nate Burns, who donated $1,000 last week to the program.
Oh, that is deserving of a shout out for sure.
100%.
The other thing, I kind of mentioned it there as well, and I talked about this with Adam, is the recruiting thing. It's been different for everybody this year. I know you've touched on some of the challenges and the newer things with how recruiting went this year, but how has that kind of gone? Is that kind of ramping down now as guys start to make decisions about where they're going?
Yes and no. There's, you're always recruiting multiple years there. So as one begins, one ends, and so on and so forth. And you're always recruiting almost 6 years in the sense of the junior, the senior, and then the 4 currently retaining them. But we're kind of culminating with the 21s now, the high school seniors. We've had 11 commits. We're really on track for a big class, which we need to fill the 14 seniors graduating. And we just had actually earlier today our first deposit for the 21. So 11 commits, 1 is deposited now. And it's going well. It's good quality within. There's been challenges at the same time. Recruiting still goes on. These young men, women, they're going to need a place to end up. So we're there and welcoming those quality student athletes. Admission's done a great job this year as far as getting the actual official packet out, not just word through coaches where we call and reach out to those that are important to us, but the actual package. This is the earliest I've ever seen it. Some even coming before Thanksgiving, which is so important when these families sit down during the Thanksgiving, Christmas holidays and talk about the future, talk about what that person wants and where they're going to end up in college.
Yeah. You talked about how you're not just recruiting seniors, you're recruiting juniors, sometimes even sophomores. For those people in that position, those classes, for them, this is the first time they're starting to undergo the recruitment process, and it's during a pandemic, whereas seniors have at least kind of dipped the foot in and gone through some of this stuff already. How has that process, you think, gone or maybe been streamlined or changed for those classes, the juniors and sophomores?
Yes, there's many less events, state to state, region to region. It's different. Some have progressed to an online model where there's no participants coaches watching on the sideline, no parents, but only the participants. This past Friday, in fact, I watched one which was broadcast out of New York via YouTube, and I had a chance to see approximately 100 young men out of 2 counties, juniors, 2022s, compete, of which 30 were quality in-between type players where, I reached out to them immediately and showcase what Salve has to offer those juniors right now as they start to cultivate what they're looking at and start narrowing down maybe the 5 or 6 schools they go visit in the coming year.
Yeah. Now, every activity for every team is basically wrapped up here, especially for spring sports. We're in this pause right now, but you guys had already concluded your work. taking what you guys were able to accomplish in the fall, how do you see your team playing out in the spring? Hopefully, when you can get out there on the field, how do you feel about your depth as a team? You mentioned having so many seniors and a lot of new guys as well.
I thought we had a productive fall. We tried doing some things to enhance the team. Not just X's and O's, but even positionally, we switched some kids around, tried to address some weaknesses from 2020. And I thought we did a good job, especially augmenting our defensive midi units. That seemed to be a weakness for us in the past. And this year, moving forward with our depth and a renewed interest at defensive midi, I feel that we're in a great position. You alluded to those seniors. They're going to provide a lot of leadership, but there are some newcomers too to bolster what we already have. So it's nice to see that year in, year out. We have a couple players competing in the mix right away as freshmen.
Now, you mentioned your seniors, two guys that kind of stick out to me as far as the guys at the top of your pecking order, Pat Leary, Brendan Kelly. They're really as you put it, the tip of the spear for your offense.
They are. They're seniors. They've logged a lot of minutes. Pat, in fact, is, I believe, 25 goals away as the all-time leading goal scorer here at Salve. He currently has 119. And going into this year, we feel that he's in a great position to compete for that. But more importantly, together, they really are double trouble in the sense of one's a righty, one's a lefty. Who do you cover with your number one? Who do you relegate to the number two defensive player? And then the aspects of the hands. Do you have a righty and lefty that can counter their righty and lefty ability? And they both shoot at a high clip percentage-wise. Pat, I believe, is close to 50%, which is phenomenal. And Mr. Kelly adds a added aspect of vision where he's very good on not only goals but assists. So together, those two guys are going to be tough to cover. And they're both looking to come back for the fifth year as well, Andrew. So we're excited about that the following year as well.
So Pat wants to just bury that goal record.
I know a few guys were disheartened when they heard that, him returning for a fifth year.
In a way, I mean, there's going to be quite a layoff. I mean, between from when you guys have finished practicing here to hopefully getting on the field with games. That gives you, the coaches, kind of extra time to game plan and strategize. When you, as you said there, you've got kind of those two pieces at the front with Pat and Brendan. Can it benefit you that now you kind of have the extra time to maybe, hey, we can spend a while here to try and diagram and work up some new things and new looks to have, whenever we get back out in the field that maybe you wouldn't have had the time for before?
100%. We even started that over the summer with some of the Zoom meetings we had and worked it into the fall practices, so on and so forth. This fall added a couple freshman pieces to the equation. So we're in a great position moving forward. I do think, you can overplan, especially in this time. I think a key aspect is being nimble, flexible, is the key to happiness, as they say, especially in this uncertain hour-to-hour time. And that's the way we do approach it. We appreciate the time together, and whatever we can get out of what we have time-wise together, we try to take advantage of it. And the guys been great with that.
Yeah. Lastly, Pat, I wanted to ask you, how was your Thanksgiving? How was that day, that time that, we got like a 4-day weekend kind of almost. How did you enjoy the holiday?
It was good. Thanksgiving I had off. I spent time with the family. It was great. Did recruit on Friday, had a transfer up, showed him around. That never ends. But it was great always being with the family and having my son Liam, who's a Salve freshman, as you know, come back home. Mom was always happy to see her.
Awesome. Hey, Pat, thank you for taking the time. I'm glad the power stayed on for you there.
I know it did. So, well, thank you, Andrew. Have a great day.
You as well. Take care now. That's Pat Cooney, the head coach of our men's lacrosse team. We're going to take a short break as we try to get Eric Sorella on the line, but I think he may be having power and internet issues as well. So we'll take a short break and be back with either Eric Sorella or the producers to wrap up today's programming. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Seahawk Talk. I'm your host, Andrew Pizzelli. We got a little glimpse there of the photo studio that Ed Habershaw, our sports information director and associate athletic director, set up for all of our athletes. So we managed to get headshots for everybody, socially distanced, all safe, separated and spaced apart inside against the backdrop. So everybody's got brandy new headshots on the website. And that was a little fun clip of some members of our women's basketball team having fun in the photo studio. So no Eric Sorella today. So he's going to get a little bit of a gap. If we can squeeze him in later in the week, maybe somehow we will. But he's having issues with his internet because of this weather, as we said, up to 60-mile-an-hour winds. And he already said the power flickered on him once. Hey, we got it right there on the bottom. Weather warning. So no Sorella, as my apartment shakes in the wind. I may lose power at any second as well. And so before that happens, we're going to bring in the producers, Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco, to wrap up today's programming. Fellas, first, any thoughts you had on anything our guests had to say here today?
Just an awesome shot of that double rainbow. I don't know if we can. Was that you that brought that up?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I can bring that up again.
Yeah, if anyone missed it, that was awesome. I didn't know he was that into photography as well. So that was interesting to hear from Coach Sakara on that. Yeah, awesome. Wait, where did he say he took that again?
I believe he took that from a car. I'm gonna try and pull up his. Here, you know what I'll do?
His little signature on the bottom.
I will share his Instagram feed.
Ooh. Yeah, let's give him. See, there we go.
So he's got tons. His work's awesome, and we joke because he gets a lot of stuff from Newport looking west. I guess a lot of stuff from Narragansett looking east. So we've actually had an instance earlier in the summer where we both had the same picture of a rainbow, just from opposite sides. I remember
you talking about that.
This was in Vermont. Yep. So this was on his way back on a drive from Vermont. But yeah, AZNPT1. Go ahead and follow Coach Sakara on Instagram. You will not be disappointed. I mean, he gets a lot of early morning stuff too. I get a lot of sunsets. He gets a lot of sunrises. I mean, just look at this. That's awesome. Also, again, what easier way to promote Salve? I mean, just go to Coach Sakara's Instagram feed. most of it's Newport.
Yeah,
it sells itself. I mean, look at that too. Look at that.
Yeah,
That's
he gets out a lot. He's always moving. He's always outside in a different location whenever he's on the show.
So, yeah.
He's got that artistic mindset, He's like, I gotta get a good backdrop every day.
Coach, that's true. Yeah, he set up the Christmas Village for us today.
Yeah, next week he's gonna do a perspective shot with his camera where it looks like he's in the Christmas Village. It's gonna look like he's small in there. I don't know how we'll do it, but he will.
Well, we'll have to text him afterwards. We'll challenge him. Joey wants.
You to be tiny in the Christmas Village. It would be funny.
Joey, anything else you want to add from our guests, or anything else we have to wrap up today's show from you fellas?
I don't think anything particular. I was just thinking about, those pictures are awesome. I wish I could take pictures like that. I don't get it. I can't figure out how to do the focus and stuff to make it look not like it's on a phone. But yeah, that's crazy to be able to do that.
Well, maybe we'll get Coach Sakara and I will do a master class in Instagram photography here on Seahawk Talk.
We gotta get him back. Also, I did find this story I wanted to mention very quickly. There's currently shopping deadlines, or there's if you want to get stuff shipping deadlines, if you want to get stuff shipped on time. So I wanted to mention this because I feel like this is kind of urgent now. If you're gonna try to send stuff to relatives for Christmas gifts or something, the U.S. Postal Service, they have their deadlines are USPS retail or December 15th, first class December 18th, December 19th. So most of these deadlines are coming up by December 20th, looks like the latest one. So go check those on the Newport patch. They have them all listed. And there's some shipping deadlines. So go make sure you get all that stuff sent out by the dates there. So, and most of them were December 18th, some December 15th. So make sure you do it now.
Yeah, so send out your Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, fellas, great work here today. I'm going to let you guys go. Go plug in your phones. Charge them before the power goes out.
Exactly,
Okay, no, I forgot. I'm safe here. I was like, no, I have homework to do.
You're good. It's mostly me and Paz are getting just absolutely drenched right now.
Yeah,
I'm going to lose power because I said that.
Yeah, you jinxed it.
Oh, jeez. I'd be like,
So.
Dr. Ash, I promise I was doing the mini lit review. I
Just finished
lost
that
that
today.
I'm almost done. I only got like one more to do, but
All right. Well, fellas, great job today, and I'll check in with you again tomorrow on the show.
All right, see you guys tomorrow.
All right, that's Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco, the producers here on Seahawk Talk. I want to thank our guests. Once again today, we had Jody Meridian, Adam Zakar, Pat Cooney. We were going to have Eric Sorella, but the weather unfortunately prohibited him from joining us here today, so we'll try and get him back again later in the week. If not, you'll see him again next Monday, like always here on Seahawk Talk. We are live every single day, Monday through Friday, 3 to 4 p.m. here on the Salve Athletics. That is Facebook, YouTube, and through Twitter. You can follow us, Salve Athletics, on our show to read any past episode of the show, and you can also subscribe to the Seahawk Talk podcast through Sounder FM or wherever you podcast. That'll do it for us here today, folks. I'm Andy Pizzella. Safe, everybody, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.